Now let's go across to Navneet and see how markets are really closing today above 33,000 for Sensex. Navneet.
Well, Pradeep, today's rally has been fueled by the moves one has seen in the PSU banking space. Its lifetime high closing coming for Nifty at 10,294. Sensex also closing above the 33,000 mark. And great move by Bank Nifty. And remember, the kind of moves that you're seeing on Bank Nifty is primarily because of State Bank of India, which saw a sharp surge in today's trade. Despite of the correction seen in heavyweight HDFC Bank, it's managed to maintain the gains of over 3%. In terms of broader market, they also perform well. The Nifty Mid-Cap Free Float Index is closing with gains of 1.6%. The Nifty Small Cap Index is also closing with gains of 1.5%. But some sort of profit booking or rather weakness seen for the BSE Small Cap Index, just closing with minor losses of 0.2%. Let's quickly look at the Sensex gainers and losers then. Topping the list has to be State Bank of India, up almost 27%. The lone gainer from the private banking space, not the lone, but good gains seen for ICICI Bank, up almost 15%. L&T saw strong gains of 5%. Axis Bank from the private banking space was up 5%. Bharti up about 3% towards the close, and Tata Motors was down yesterday, has seen a good rebound coming about in today's trade. In terms of losers, quickly, Kotak Mahindra Bank, HDFC Bank, HDFC, well, these are the three heavyweights on Sensex which have seen good amount of losses. Lupin, Sun Pharma, once again from the pharma space, have been weak. In Asian Paints, which declared its numbers yesterday, Pradeep, was up, so some sort of profit booking was seen in today's trade.
Yeah, and if you look at the PSU banks, you know, the segment, although it moved up, but it was very difficult trade in today's session. If you look at it, for example, a stock like PNB that opened with a gap of around 20%, it was very difficult to take a position there. But look at what happened at the end of the day, with both long positions building up, buying in cash segment, and also some amount of short covering. PNB is finally closing with gains of 50%. So even if you bought when the stock was up 25%, you still made money. But look at the negative side. Yes Bank, it was a key loser, closing very close to the day's low. L&T Finance was one of the NBFCs that came under pressure. In fact, the entire NBFC segment was under pressure in today's trade. Some of the interesting gainers, look at V-Guard Industries. This stock moved up in last hour of trade. Dish TV was also an interesting bet that, in fact, Kunal recommended in this show itself, and the stock moved up quite a bit. 75.50 is the level where it's about to close. On the infrastructure side, we have seen a lot of activity. GMR moved up not only because the infrastructure pushed by the government, but also company plans to raise funds, and that could also have been positive for this stock, closing with a gain of roughly 7%. NCC was another gainer. The company is likely to get some orders for road building, but J. Kumar Infra, now this was interesting. The stock was up 12% at one point, is closing with gains of 7 to 8% only, so some amount of profit booking in this stock. NBCC was another stock which was very strong till around 2 o'clock, but look at what happened in the last minute. Aggressive selling after a consistent gains for last 3 to 4 sessions. The stock finally saw some profit booking. In RCom, which is about to exit several businesses now, in fact, the stock closed with the loss of 3% in today's trade. Navneet.
Well, it's been a great closing just one day before the expiry. Let's quickly look at the Nifty contributors list, and SPI, look at that. That contributed 71 points to Nifty's gain today, and ICICI Bank contributed almost 69 points, and L&T too did pretty well. That contributed almost 20 points. From the private banking space, Axis Bank also contributed. So if you look at the total contributors, it was a gain of 211. What capped the moves today, or rather what dragged the index lower, were the heavyweights HDFC and HDFC Bank. Both the twins have almost 16 to 17% weightage on Nifty, so they dragged the index lower by nearly 60 to 65 points. Kotak Mahindra Bank dragged it lower by 19 points, and IndusInd Bank also dragged it lower by 10 points. So if you look at the losing list, they dragged the index lower by 124, but nevertheless the closing was quite positive in today's trade. But if you look at the advanced decline, the market breadth, if you look at the broader markets, it was in favor of the decline. decline. So definitely there was some sort of profit booking which one saw coming in for the broader markets. Today NSE stats was clearly in favor of the declines, but the total turnover, let's see how the participation panned out today. Considering tomorrow is the expiry day, one would expect that the turnover can be on the higher side. So this is the total turnover. Look at this NSE F&O turnover. Usually you see a figure like this on the expiry day. So 12 lakh crore. The turnover has definitely been on the higher side, 12.6. It will be interesting to see how the data from the FI and the DI pans out today. Volatility also surged towards the end. Definitely the market was higher, so one would expect some sort of near-term correction considering it is the expiry day tomorrow. Before I wrap, I just want to highlight, look at the divergent moves between Nifty PSU Bank, up almost 30%, and no major movement seen from the Nifty Private Banking Index, which was majorly dragged by its heavyweight HDFC Bank, which controls weightage of almost 30 to 35% in Bank Nifty, Pradeep.
Yeah, you know, but the overall volume in cash segment also has been huge, which means there has been some real buying taking place in especially PSU banking probably. Siddharth, what's your assessment? Will these stocks keep moving up over next few weeks or months, or is it just a rally for a few days?
See, I would say this is just a rally for a few days, because now the assessment and analysis will come in place that which banks will get what kind of funding from government. And on top of it, the chunk of the 2.1 lakh crore which is through bonds is still unclear that who will issue the bond, what would be the coupon rate, and so on and so forth. Once those clarity comes, I think the rally will halt, which companies will be getting the loans. So overall perspective, I think the rally is temporary. Look at the companies which has a really good potential to go up.
All right, Siddharth, we'll be getting HUL's numbers in a while. Any estimates? How do you expect the performance to be from HUL?
See, I don't have the exact numbers because we don't cover, but generally what we anticipate is the volume should be around 4 to 5% volume growth, and the margins also should improve going forward, because the kind of, although the monsoons was not well spread, but overall it was little less than the normal. So overall the kind of rural revival we've been seeing, I think there could be a good numbers for HUL. 4 to 5% is what the volume growth is generally anticipated.
The volume growth number will be the key metric to be watched out in HUL's September quarter earnings, which will just any time soon. Kunal, on the charts, the stock of HUL has been trading almost at its record high levels. How does it look? Would you recommend anyone to take a fresh long here?
Again, I think it's all a function of what your perspective is and how long you intend to hold it. I think from a longer term perspective, definitely merits a buy on a correction. But from a trader's perspective, I think HUL is not the kind of stock that you would want to trade in, especially ahead of results. So I would take a pass on this one. I think there are better plays in the market.
All right, Kunal, before I let you go, any closing thoughts? How would you approach the markets tomorrow, an all-important expiry day?
Well, I think markets are have definitely broken out, and the new floor, I think, for the Nifty would be in the region of 9,700, and I don't really see the markets going below that level in a hurry. So with that as the floor, I think markets are definitely going to attempt to get to 10,500 and possibly even beyond. So one should continue to have a bullish stance on the market for the next week, as well as going forward for the next month.